One of the pieces that I'm absolutely fascinated by at the moment is the geopolitical and also the intra-American competition for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. We've seen Miami try to become the Bitcoin capital of the world. We've seen Texas, everything from local politicians all the way up to the governor, saying that they want to be the Bitcoin capital of the world, especially around mining. We've seen Wyoming and Senator Lummis put their flag in the ground and say, we want to be the leader. We're going to create a legal framework and we're going to lead from the front. And now we see the brand new New York City mayor, Eric Adams, elected last night in a landslide victory, literally during his acceptance speech, say he's going to make NYC the home of Bitcoin. He's going to bring back all the businesses that left during the pandemic. When you have this level of competition just within the United States, you have cities and states all competing with each other to see who can get the Bitcoin infrastructure put in their geography, who can elicit and support the people who like Bitcoin, who hold Bitcoin, who are building around Bitcoin to come and move to their jurisdiction. This is healthy. Competition is healthy. You now have multiple jurisdictions within the United States all competing with each other to see who can provide the best experience. And ultimately, you, I, and the rest of the citizens, they win when there's competition among geographies and jurisdictions. But it's not just in the United States. We also see like places in Portugal where they're literally saying there's 0% crypto tax and there's 0% capital gains tax. Seeing places like El Salvador say, move here and you won't have to pay any sort of capital gains tax if you hold Bitcoin or you support those types of businesses and infrastructure. They've made a legal tender. They've handed out Bitcoin to their citizens. Around the world, governments and politicians are waking up to the fact that there is a global competition going on. Everyone is competing. How can we get the Bitcoin infrastructure built out in our country or in our jurisdiction? How can we get the people who hold this asset to come and move to our location? And how can we continue to incentivize innovation, economic prosperity, and job creation? Well, one way that you want to do it would be to find one of the fastest growing, if not the fastest growing technology industries in the world and say, we want to be a leader there. And that's what Miami, Texas, Wyoming, and now New York City are all saying. We've got this video from the mayor, newly elected of New York City, Eric Adams, last night during his acceptance speech. He hits all the right talking points. Time will tell if he actually ends up executing on it.
We're going to bring businesses here. We're going to become the center of life science, the center of cybersecurity, the center of self-driving cars, drones, the center of Bitcoins. We're going to be the center of all the technology. Miami, you had your run. We're bringing our businesses back.
Now, I do have to say one thing. He said Bitcoins with an S. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt that was a Freudian slip, that he added the S by accident. But if he's gonna continue to say Bitcoins, I'm out already. But I do think that there's a lot of people who want that message. It's a very similar message to what the mayor of Miami has been saying. We are going to be the leader in everything from Bitcoin to other types of technology, and we're gonna push forward. I believe that this is going to be the political message that more and more people want to hear, and therefore you're going to hear it more and more from various jurisdictions, all the way down to Cool Valley, Missouri, where they're handing out Bitcoin to their citizens, all the way up to New York City, the Big Apple, the financial capital of the world. Now, here's my challenge to Eric Adams. Get rid of the bit license. If you really want to make it the capital of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, get rid of the bit license. If you do that, people will take you seriously. People will say, this guy means business. This guy is trying to make it easier to go ahead and create businesses here. There should be no reason why, if I start a traditional financial firm or a fintech that doesn't deal in Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, I actually have an easier time getting into the market and servicing my customers than if I simply support a digital currency or a digital asset. Then all of a sudden, it's harder for me. There's actually more regulation. There's more obstacles. There's more friction in the financial capital of the world to start a Bitcoin or crypto company than there is to start a traditional financial or fintech firm. It's not how it should be. You want to be the leader, lead from the front, get rid of the bit license. If you do that, I think there's a lot of people around the world that will applaud you. I'll be the first one to say, hey, he means business.
New York's the financial capital of the world, right? New York City, traditionally Wall Street. I hope this isn't a PR stunt, right? Just kind of using clickbait and say, hey, Bitcoin, people like that. So let me go ahead and just say that in one of my speeches. I don't believe it is. I think he really wants to advocate for the blue collar worker. And that's exactly what kind of Bitcoin does. It puts everyone on a level playing field with the monetary policy and like the inequality that we have today. Look, and if he continues to implement this idea of Bitcoin in New York City, it's only good for the industry. He did call out Miami a little bit, which I'm obviously a very, very big fan of. So I got to give you a little downvote for that one. But look, good for him. And he also talked about government spending and how he wants to cut $500 million from the budget every year. Good. I think our government has a spending problem, and I wish him nothing but the best. Good for Eric Adams.
It's pretty crazy to hear politicians and government officials talking about Bitcoin in this way, right? Just so openly and saying, "Hey, look, this is going to be the capital. We're gonna foster innovation here when it comes to these assets and stuff." Because 5-10 years ago, people would have dreamed of that, and now it's kind of becoming commonplace.
I am cheering for him, and I'm cheering for the city of New York. Right? I actually think that it's been really bad, to the point where we all moved. We left. We literally voted with our wallets and our feet. See ya. But I do think that there's a chance that with the right leadership, they can come back. And it sounds like everything I've heard, everyone that I know that knows him or has met him has absolutely glowing reviews. So I am optimistic for New York City, optimistic for his work. And I'm hoping that he ends up being successful for not only for his own sake, but for all the citizens that are there, right?